Chapter 22. Return of the Grand Duke. Despite Thunderbolt's appearance, Generals Ying Po Bai and Lei Kai bravely advanced, challenging him with, "Who are you that dare to block our path? I'm Thunderbolt, the 100th son of Prince Wen. My father's a virtuous gentleman. He serves King Zhou loyally and his parents filially, treats his friends faithfully and his ministers righteously. He rules according to the rights and acts according to the doctrines. He upholds the law and makes all efforts to be a good minister. He was imprisoned for 7 years without a word of complaint and waited patiently for His Majesty's pardon. The king has set him free, so why does he send you after him again? His Majesty's dealt with matters most irregularly. Hence, by order of my master, I left Mount Zhongnan to meet my father and help him return to his native dukedom. You may return to Zhaoge in peace. There's no need to display your courage. As my master forbids me to hurt you, you may just go back straightway." General Ying Po Bai burst into laughter. "You ugly beast! How dare you brag so? How dare you deceive my men and denigrate my valor?" He spurred his horse forward and slashed at Thunderbolt with his cutlass. Thunderbolt parried the blow with his golden cudgel. "Stop, stop. I would be quite happy to have a bout with you, but I must obey the instructions of my master and father. Here, let me show you what I can do so that you can cool off," he said, and soared up into the sky, his wings roaring like thunder. He alighted on a nearby mountain and pointing to a crag protruding from the mountainside to the west, he called to General Yin. "Watch me knock that crag off." Raising his golden cudgel, Thunderbolt struck half the crag away with a single blow. He then flew back to the two generals. "Do you think your heads are tougher than that rock?" he demanded. Witness to his ferocity and miraculous strength, both generals were terrified. They realized that they could not possibly defeat him, and unwilling to lose their lives, they ordered their troops to return to Zhaoge. When Thunderbolt returned, he found Prince Wen still on the ground in a faint. "I've repulsed the pursuing troops in peace, as you ordered. I persuade Ying Po Bai and Lei Kai with mild words to return to Zhaoge. Now that they're gone, I'll take you through the 5 passes. I have military tallies with me. The pass guards will let me through without any trouble." "There's no need for you to do that, father. You're bound to be DI'd if you use them, and the situation's still serious. What shall we do if King Zhou sends more troops to pursue us? Let me carry you on my back and we'll fly over the 5 passes to avoid any further trouble," Thunderbolt urged him. "You've got a good plan, but what about my horse? How can it get through the passes?" Prince Wen asked. "The horse is not important. You've got to worry about getting yourself through, father. This horse has served me faithfully for 7 years. How can I bear to abandon it now?" Prince Wen said sadly. "We've got no choice. We have to sacrifice trifles in order to accomplish great deeds," Thunderbolt reasoned. Prince Wen patted the horse on the head and sighed. "I don't like to be unkind and leave you here, but I'm afraid that the soldiers will come again. Go where you will and find yourself another master," he said, beginning to weep. "Hurry, father. We mustn't delay any longer," Thunderbolt urged him. "Take care when you're carrying me," Prince Wen exhorted his son. He climbed up on Thunderbolt's back and closed his eyes tightly. The wind whistled past his ears as they flew swiftly over the 5 passes to the Golden Chicken Range, where Thunderbolt alighted on firm ground. "Father, we're arrived beyond the 5 passes already." Prince Wen opened his eyes, looked around, and recognizing his native land, cried in delight. "My son, it's all due to your effort that I am home again. I must thank you. Take care on the road ahead, father. I will leave you here." "But why do you leave me halfway, son? My master instructed me to return straight to Mount Zhongnan once I had carried you beyond the passes. I dare not disobey him. You may return to your dukedom first, and I'll follow when I've obtained greater magic powers," Thunderbolt explained. He knelt down, kowtowed to Prince Wen, and then tearfully left for Mount Zhongnan, having no horse to ride. Prince Wen set out on foot and walked all day long. He was an old man, and the traveling exhausted him. At dusk, he put up at an inn, and the next morning, when he was about to leave the inn, he discovered that he had no money to pay for his food and lodgings. "How can you stay at our inn and eat our food without the money to pay for it?" The assistant protested. "I'm sorry, but I arrived without any money on hand. Could you temporarily give me credit? I'll pay the debt with interest as soon as I reach West Qi City," he begged. The assistant was angry. "This is West Qi, and no Ankh gets away with dishonesty. You see, the West Grand Duke rules his people with kindness and righteousness. No one picks up articles others have lost on the street, and no one has to lock up at night. All live in peace and happiness. Pay your bill and I'll let you go. Otherwise, we'll take you to the capital to see Supreme Minister Sun Yisheng. It'll be too late to be sorry then. I won't break my word. Please trust me," Prince Wen begged. Hearing their quarrel, the innkeeper came out and questioned them. "What's the matter? What are you arguing about?" When the assistant explained that the guest had no money to pay his bill, the innkeeper noticed that though Prince Wen was old, he had a noble, dignified bearing. "What brings you to West Qi? Why didn't you bring any money to cover your expenses? As we don't know you, how can we allow you credit? If you explain yourself clearly, perhaps we can agree to give you credit and let you go," he said. "Master, I'm none other than the West Grand Duke. I was confined at Yoli for 7 years, and on my way home, I was pursued by royal troops, but luckily my son Thunderbolt carried me through the 5 passes. That's why I have no money and must ask you to allow me a few days' credit. I'll send a messenger and pay you as soon as I reach the capital. I promise I'll keep my word." Hearing that he was the West Grand Duke, the innkeeper knelt down and kowtowed before him, saying, "I beg your forgiveness, your highness. My vulgar eyes failed to recognize you. Please come in and have some tea. I'll personally escort you back to the capital." "What's your name, innkeeper?" Prince Wen asked. "My name's Shen Jie. My family has lived here for 5 generations." Prince Wen was delighted. "Have you a horse here? Lend it to me for my Jumi, and I'll reward you handsomely when I reach the capital. Since no one here is very wealthy, how could we own a horse? All we have is the donkey used to grind flour. I'll saddle it up and go along to look after you," Shen Jie said sincerely. Filled with joy, Prince Wen left the inn, crossed the Golden Chicken Range and Mount Shouyang, and traveled several more days. He rode by day and put up by night. It was late autumn, and the wind blew chill, leaves falling from the trees. The maples were turning red, and birds chirped sadly at the cold weather setting in. Prince Wen had been away from his native land for 7 years, and the desolate autumn scenery made him homesick. He longed for the comfort of his family, and for the happy reunion with his mother and wife. Meanwhile, his mother, Tai Jiang, was sitting in her room thinking of her son when 3 sudden gusts of wind swept through the palace, howling strangely. She quickly burned incense and made a divination, finding to her delight that her son would reach the capital at a certain hour on a certain day. She thereby ordered her grandsons and the ministers to go and meet the Grand Duke. Everyone was overjoyed by the news. Every household in the city burned incense, and the people prepared mutton and wine to welcome the return of their beloved Duke. Setting foot on his native soil and seeing once more the familiar hills and plains, Prince Wen could not help feeling melancholy. "It's been 7 years since disaster befell me, but now I'm home again. The rivers and mountains remain the same, but the people have all changed," he thought, sighing sadly. But then he saw a long procession of men, horses, banners, and flags approaching from the opposite direction, and heard the ringing of cannon shots. He cheered up at once. "These must be my ministers coming to meet me." Soon he saw General Nagung Quo, and Supreme Minister San Yisheng, as well as Xingjia, Xingmian, Taidian, Houyao, Qigong, and Yingji, all kneeling down before him at the roadside. Ji Fa came forward, knelt down before the donkey and kowtowed. You were imprisoned for a long time. But your children did nothing to alleviate your suffering. Our crime is monstrous. We beg your generous forgiveness. Your safe return today makes us unspeakably relieved. Seeing so many ministers come to meet him, Prince Wen wept. I'm now home again in my dukedom with all my ministers. This is more than I dared to hope for when I was imprisoned. I never thought that I would have the opportunity to meet you all again. I'm overjoyed but can't help feeling a little sad at the same time. He replied. History records that King Tang, the first ruler of this dynasty, was once imprisoned at Xiatai, but as soon as he was set free, he started a revolution to overthrow the old regime. He united the whole country and founded the Shang dynasty. Now, master, you're back home again. You can administer the country in a more virtuous way, help the people prosper, and take action when the time's ripe. Perhaps today's Yoli may become another Xiatai. Supreme Minister San Yisheng tried to comfort him. What you've said has no meaning for me, as a proper subject would never act that way. I committed a crime. But His Majesty spared my life and showed great mercy by confining me for only 7 years. Now His Majesty has set me free, created me prince, and conferred on me the privilege to subjugate the rebels. Never in this life shall I turn against him.